Martin Stuchtey, welcome to the forum. Well, I know you've been part of it today, talking about financing the transition and accelerating that transition on the ground. You are from the Land Banking Group, a founder of it. You are a supporting partner of the FFA. And I know you also run an organic farm in Austria with your co-founder and wife, Sonia. Yeah. Tell me your story. Tell me your background in the build-up to the Land Banking Group.
I'm a geologist and economics professor by background. Geology is this very slow business. Nothing ever happens in geology until something bigger does happen every couple of million years, and that's called a state shift. I wouldn't have thought that within my lifetime I would be witnessing a state shift in climate, which is arguably a 5 million year event, a state shift in biodiversity, which is arguably a 6 million year event. This is so big, this is so beyond our normal decision cycles that all we can do with our Kahneman brains is to ignore it. That's what I did. I became consultant. I was with McKinsey & Company for 20 years, where I then started returning to this question, the global sustainability practice, led it for many years, and where we were starting to battle with these big system transitions that we talk about here today at FFA. There was a moment when I decided that we are up against a systemic challenge. And so we also need to have a systemic set of instruments. We started a company called Systemic. That's when I was here the last time around. And yet again, whilst sort of we were trying to make the solution to these big system level challenges a new profession, I increasingly felt that apart from making systems better, which is McKinsey, better systems, which is systemic, I thought we have to go even further and ask ourselves, what is better? And this whole idea that I've also written about a lot in the past, that we need to reconceptualize what wealth really is in the 21st century, that it needs to be inclusive of our natural capital, seemed like a real life opportunity. We started the Land Banking Group because we think that there's increasingly an opportunity to provide a digital representation of nature, an economic representation of nature, and to calculate what value is it really giving into the economy, or what value, how should we value it? And then also a legal representation, which is a lot about FFA. How can we actually reward those who are taking those better land use decisions on our behalf? And that's the story of the Land Banking Group, and I think that's got me invited.
Well, you've made it real. You know, you've made nature visible. And then you get the mainstream corporate guys. So I think you're sharing a stage with Munich Re today. I know a colleague of yours last year was sharing a stage with BlackRock, for example. So you're making real progress.
Look, I think we are at the first time at a point where it's hard to escape reality that our business outcomes, that our portfolio outcomes are somehow linked to this thing, nature. Everything is underwritten by nature. If you take the 850 billion equity value or enterprise value that sits in OpenAI, for example, if you really go into it and said, what are the factors that could physically stop that valuation from being real, you come out with things like water, energy, emission rights, land, and then sort of local social acceptability of all those infrastructures that they're building. Every portfolio, every asset is in the end underwritten by nature. People start getting that. And so far they could sort of at least say, yes, that seems to be a source of value and a source of risk, but we can't do anything about it. It's too complex, too airy. And that's sort of a bit our job to say, no, calm down. There's a new generation of technology and instruments that you would be using everywhere else in your business, in your bank, in your insurance. Can you please also apply it to something as important and interesting as nature?
You're making it sound very simple. I know it's not. But I'm glad you're calming everyone down. That's good, Martin. I mean, you have a tool, Landler, which measures outcomes in an identifiable way. So again, we've got something substantive that we can get hold of.
Yeah, and that is increasingly the gift of technology. So there is the convergence of high-resolution Earth observations. So we have both spatially and temporally more data available. Then there are completely new ways in which you can measure nature on the ground. That is through IoT, through sensors, through bioacoustics, which we're using a lot, camera traps. So that you then have enough training data available to teach AI models to read new things out of those remote sensing data. And that is an explosive technology that will only get better. And that allows us, and that's very central to what we're trying to do with Landler, to give every plot of land this a health watch, or we call it a natural capital account, where all the stocks of biodiversity, of carbon, of water, of soils are being stored, so that you can enter a different quality of relationship with anyone who has an interest to see you building these nature stocks. And in the past, that would have been something that was left to the philanthropists or to the governments. And in the future, it's not. It's a meaningful question to the Munich Re's, to the Allianzens, to the Siemensens, the Nestlés of this world, to know how they touch the planet and how can they manage it so that they can claim to be an investable risk when they go back to the capital market.
So is AI at the heart of redefining, rebooting the food system? That this is the theme of our conference today. There is a panel going on as we speak on exactly that, on AI.
AI makes it much easier to give people the confidence that this is eventually a solvable big data problem. I think we could have done much more even before AI. We went to the doctor and we did ECGs before an MRT was invented. And whilst it didn't solve all the problems, it told us whether we are in good or in bad condition. And we could have, there are ECGs available for nature, and they have been for a while. But now, of course, the way to do that is just enormously fastly progressing. So our company has changed completely over the last 18 months. The way in which we do code, the way in which we manage our workflows, the way in which we are able to do species recognition, the way it takes to spin out the next set of the next release of the platform, or to implement a new predictive model, that is just skyrocketing. We are currently on our tech roadmap. We are in the year 2028, and it's still the year 2026. So we are almost ahead of where we thought optimistically we could be in 2026.
And will all of this underpin resilience, which is one of the themes that we always talk about? I think when you were talking about resilience in infrastructure services to the forum today, you were bringing together a lot of voices. You are a supporting partner of the FFA, and you said that this room, our room at the forum, really has something hot to offer.
Yeah, look, I think we now live in a time where personally, societally, but also financially, we are all looking for safety. We are running for the hills. We almost feel it, how we are exchanging a set of questions which was largely around wealth accumulation and around growth in the past. More and more, we are asking questions around security, and we are asking who are the credible, potent, resilient providers in all of this. And all of a sudden, we are landing on that 1 square meter of land where a good decision that is rebuilding soil health, that has shadow trees, that has water holding capacity, that feeds biodiversity, sort of appears to us as something that provides us a bit of that resilience. And if we are able to find collective systems where the millions and millions of land use decisions that are being taken every day, every morning, everywhere on the planet, on every square meter, start adding up to the resilience outcomes, the biodiversity, the climate, the carbon storage outcomes, that would be a very interesting vision for many reasons that are evident, but also for the reason because it makes the land stewards, which is the word that we like to use a lot, land stewards sort of much more central actor of the economy, while it's currently they are largely marginalized. They have to play by someone else's rules. They only get a very small share of the value added within the agricultural value chain. And so that's our big big vision, the radical democratization of natural capital markets.
Well, thank you for giving that voice to the land stewards. Thank you for talking to the forum today, and enjoy the rest of the day here. Martin Stuchtey, thank you very much.
Thank you for the conversation.